Hello everybody, Board Game Lawyer here. Tonight I'm going to play some Marvel Champions from Fantasy Flight Games. And my hero that I'm going to select to use in our game tonight is one of the Guardians of the Galaxy. And that one is our buddy Drax. So let's take a look at Drax here and see what he's all about. He has a thwart of 1, an attack of 1, a defense of 2, and Drax gets +1 attack for each vengeance counter on him. His response is after the villain attacks Drax, place 1 vengeance counter here to a maximum of 3. If you cannot, draw 1 card. So he has a hand size in his hero form of 4. His hit points are 14. Let's flip over to his alter ego side, just look at it briefly. It says that he has a recovery of 4. He's an outlaw, and after you change to this form, this is the force response, remove all vengeance counters from Drax. Heal 2 damage from him for each vengeance counter removed this way. So let me grab the dial here. We'll get it set at 14, and we'll get him ready to go. All right, so that's Drax. So who we're going to be taking on this evening with Drax? Well, the other day I lost to Mr. Sinister, so I thought I'd try him again this evening. I like Mr. Sinister, so we're going to be using him in Standard today. He is a scheme of 2, an attack of 1. He's a genius and has a forced response. After a status card is placed on Mr. Sinister, place 1 threat on the main scheme. He also begins the game with 14 hit points. So we'll set Mr. Sinister up here. Go grab his dial. All right, we've got that all set. And let's take a look at his main scheme to see what this guy is all about tonight. All right, so the main scheme tells us what our contents should be. Mr. Sinister 1 and 2, and also we want to include Flight, Super Strength, and Telepathy. These are modular sets. We also include Hope Summers, a standard encounter set, and 1 modular encounter set, the Nasty Boys. But I took Nasty Boys out tonight, and I'm going to put in Mr. Hyde. So it's going to be Drax versus Mr. Sinister and Mr. Hyde. So the setup says to set aside the Flight, Super Strength, and Telepathy encounter sets. Put Hope Summers into play under the first player's control. So let's go find Hope Summers here. She is an ally who has a thwart of star and attack of star. Her star says Hope Summers' base thwart and base attack are equal to the thwart and attack of your hero. The setup says the first player controls Hope Summers. Hope Summers does not count against your ally limit. And if Hope Summers leaves play, the players, unfortunately, lose the game. All right, so I think that's all of our setup. Yeah, that's all of our setup. Now we'll notice, too, that Hope Summers is 1 of 2, so her other card is shuffled into the encounter deck. That's how it would get revealed. All right, let's flip over to side 1B. It has Sinister Intent. There's nothing here, so it says when revealed, remove 1 random stage 2 from the game, then advance to random stage 2A. Okay, so I'll set this off to the side for now. Here are the 3 2A parts of the main scheme. So what we're asked to do is to shuffle these up. So I'm just going to give them a quick shuffle here. Shuffle, 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 shuffle them around. Shuffle, 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 shuffle. Okay, enough shuffling. I don't know where they're at, which one's which. So anyhow, we're just going to toss off this top card here. And we're going to, let's see, take a look at side 2A, which there's nothing written there. So we'll flip over to side 2B. And it says, when revealed, attach the Super Strength attachment to Mr. Sinister and shuffle the rest of the Super Strength encounter set into the encounter deck. When completed, advance to the other stage 2A. If you cannot, advance to stage 3A. Here's 3A, so we'll go ahead and set everything up here. It begins the game with 1 threat on it, just like so. All right, now we need to look for the Super Strength modular in the attachment. So here is it says setup attached to the villain, Super Strength, permanent. Attached villain gains the Brute trait and Steady. Steady characters require 2 status cards of the same type to be stunned or confused. And since it's permanent, now we got Mr. Sinister, who is now +1, so his attack is 2 now with this attachment on him. And let's see, where's the rest of the cards here? Here they are. They are the Super Strength cards, and we'll just shuffle those right into the encounter deck. And I have the counter deck right here. Just kind of randomly shove those in and give them a shuffle. All right. I think that's all the setup for Mr. Sinister. Drax, we've already looked at him. Let's go ahead and get this encounter deck shuffle. Let me give the player deck also a shuffle as well. So I have telepathy set aside, I've got flight set aside, and just one other thing that's set aside over here to my left is Drax's nemesis set, Yotat the Destroyer. His obligation is shuffled into the encounter deck. So everything ready to go except for the draw, the hand size of 6. Let's see what we get. And again, we're playing in the pool aspect this evening. I don't know if I mentioned that yet or not. So our first card that we draw is Knife Leap. Our next one is Genius. Our next card is Mantis. All right. Got to have Mantis out there. Here's another Knife Leap. Unfortunately, we got those both already. Ugh. I've got the Healing Factor. That's a good card. Healing Factor. And we've got Kid Pool. So I think for sure the Healing Factor. It says after player phase begins, exhaust Healing Factor to heal 2 damage from your identity. So yeah, that one's coming out for sure. And I definitely want to play Mantis on the table. So we're going to have to use Genius to pay for Mantis. Let's throw off the other 3 cards that we would use to pay for the Healing Factor. See if we can't get something else useful. Unfortunately, that Knife Leap, I hate getting those out early in the game like that. So the other 3 cards are going to be Barely a Scratch. It's a defense card. I've got the Teenage Negasonic Warhead, Negasonic Teenage Warhead. That would have been a good one to have out too. And another strength card. So I do have some options here I could hang on to. I think for sure the Healing Factor's coming out. Yep, need that. If you're going to play pool aspect, you got to have that superpower, the Healing Factor. And we're going to spend, how about, we'll hang on to the mental resource to pay for Mantis. We'll spend the defense card Barely a Scratch. Yeah, because I don't have any of these icons out there. And strength, that's what we'll do to pay for the Healing Factor. And then 2 resources to pay for Mantis. And that'll leave me with Negasonic Teenage Warhead in hand. Probably end up discarding them because I think I am going to go ahead and start this game off by flipping over Drax. And we may not even use Mantis now here at the beginning either. So yeah, I'm going to flip over. Let's get this thing going. So Drax is going to flip. He is going to attack Mr. Sinister. There's no response to that. There's no, let's see, we have Brute and we have Steady as our keywords here on Super Strength. And he's +1 attack. So we're going to hit him for 1. Takes him down to 13. Hope Summers has 1 thwart. So she's going to remove a threat off of Bulking Up. That's about all I can do for this first turn. Just got some healing cards out there. And was that the right thing to do? Yeah, I really think that we need to get Mantis out there. So yeah, I'm going to discard Negasonic Teenage Warhead and just draw 4 more cards for Drax. So the cards that I'm going to draw are Fight Me Coward, and I'm going to draw Barely a Scratch, Get Good, okay, and we're going to draw First Aid. So if we take some damage here, we have a way to kind of recover from that. We're going to ready Hope Summers. We're going to place 2 threat onto Bulking Up. Bulking Up gets 2 threat placed on it. Mr. Sinister is going to attack Drax. Drax is going to take the damage, and he's going to attack for 1, 2. And this one says, for this activation, Mr. Sinister gets +1 scheme and +1 attack for each superpower attachment on him. Well, he just has 1 superpower attachment on him, so his boost is 1. So he's going to damage Drax for 3. So that'll knock Drax down to 11. And then we have to mark Drax that He's got a vengeance counter on him now. And again, it says Drax gets +1 attack for each vengeance counter on him. The response says, after the villain attacks Drax, place 1 vengeance counter here to a maximum of 3. And if you cannot, draw a card. All right, so that was our attack. Now the encounter card reads, Caught Off Guard. Discard an upgrade or support you control. If no cards were discarded this way, this card gains Surge. What a terrible card to get right out of the gate, because there goes my healing factor. An upgrade or support you control. That's the only option I have, is to get rid of my healing factor. Ugh. Free healing at the beginning of my turn has now been removed. So, all right, Mr. Sinister, I see what you're up to. All right, so Drax. Let's see what we can do here. So Get Good says it can reduce the cost to play Get Good by 2 if you did not win your previous game of Marvel Champions. Forced Interrupt. When a player would be defeated, they set their hit point dial to 1 and change to alter ego form instead. Remove this card from the game. Now, had I got this card the other day, yeah, that would have been better. Oh my goodness, that would have been so much better if I would have gotten this the other day, because I did lose my last game against Mr. Sinister, but I did play a 2-player game yesterday with Mr. Steve Vardane, and we won that game. So reduce the cost to play Get Good by 2 if you did not win your previous game of Marvel Champions. Well, me and Steve, we did it. So I guess I got to pay for Get Good. So we're going to pay for Get Good using Barely a Scratch and First Aid to put it out. Now it says it's a forced response. When a player would be defeated, they set their hit point dial to 1 and change to alter ego form instead. Remove this card from the game. So that is a way to not necessarily lose on damage. It's lost. It's removed from the game after it's used. So we got good on the table. All right. So then the other card I've got in my hand is Fight Me Coward. It says ready your hero, draw a card. The villain attacks you. I wonder if I should have waited to pay for Get Good until later. Maybe. You know what? Maybe we'll wait to pay for that, because if I use that Fight Me Coward, I may draw a card. Could be a double resource, which would be great. Then I get a free first aid heal. So yeah, I'm just going to slightly back up a little bit. Instead of playing that upgrade already, I'm going to probably use the Fight Me Coward card. All right, so Drax is going to, let's start with Hope Summers. Hope Summers is going to attack Mr. Sinister. Going to attack him for 2, knock him down to 11. Probably should get the threat off of that bulking up. Drax is going to attack Mr. Sinister, and we're going to do 2 more damage to him, so that's going to take him down to 9. So we're not rushing him by any means, but now we've got this Fight Me Coward card. It says to ready our hero, draw 1 card, the villain attacks you. So we'll ready the hero, draw a card, which is, self-confidence. Double the number of resources this card generates if your identity has sustained less than 5 damage. Triple the resources instead if you have sustained no damage. So he's already got 3 damage on him. Yeah, and I do have a healer over here, so that could be good. So do I want to defend with self-confidence so that I can keep my hit points up there? Maybe. No, I don't think so. This is how we're going to do it, because I've got another healing card too. So Drax is going to get attacked by Mr. Sinister. I'm not going to defend, so he's going to attack for 1, 2, 3, 4 damage into Drax. It's going to take him down to 7 hit points. And then he attacked him, so I place 1 vengeance counter here. So now Drax has got his 3 attack. Should have waited with Hope, right? Yeah, I should have waited, because then I could have attacked later. I'm not going to back up that far. I promise you I'm not going to do that. So we're just going to attack Mr. Sinister for 3. Yeah, I got a little bit too quick on the draw there with Hope. And then we're going to use Mantis. It says exhaust Mantis, deal 1 damage to her to heal 3 damage from an identity. So we're going to exhaust her to do a damage, and we're going to heal Drax up to 10. Okay, and then if I use the barely a scratch to pay for the first aid, I can heal 2 more damage from Drax, which will put him up to 12. Okay, now we're in range of self-confidence, because it says that if your identity has sustained less than 5 damage, right now we're only sustaining 2 damage. We can use it for 2 resources, double the resources. So that's how we're going to pay for Get Good. Yep. The only thing that was not optimized then, I think, then is Hope Summers could have attacked for another 1. So he would be at 5 right now. So that we may keep track of that, and that'll come back to maybe smack me later on. But anyway, here we go. We're going to ready everything up. We're going to stay in our hero form. Threat's getting crazy too. That could be problematic. Anyhow, we're going to draw up our hand size of 4. Here's meditation. We draw intimidation. It says remove threat from a scheme where X is equal to your attack. That's great. That's a good way to remove some threat. We got another first aid card, which is good. And we got another healing factor. So we have some choices. Okay. All right, so we're going to place 2 threat on bulking up. Mr. Sinister is going to attack us for 1, 2. I'm just going to take the damage. So it's 2. Just 2 damage into Drax. So that knocks him down to 10. Get a vengeance counter. Good. So now he's up to 3 vengeance counters. That's his max. Maximum of 3 if you cannot draw 1 card. So now we can draw cards if we can stay in hero form, which we really want to do. All right, and then the encounter card is Shadow of the Past. Reveal your set-aside Nemesis minion and put it into play. Engage with you. Reveal your set-aside Nemesis side scheme and put it into play. Shuffle the rest of the set-aside encounter set into the encounter deck. If your Nemesis minion does not enter the game this way, this card gains Surge. So we know how that works, right? Shadow of the Past. We saw him earlier. It is Yotat the Destroyer. He has Guard and Retaliate. It's Drax's minion. He attacks for 3, and he has 5 health on him. Okay, there's Yotat. And then his main scheme says, Cull the Weak. Each enemy gets +2 attack. We've got to get rid of that for sure. So we place 2 threat onto that. Sorry about the loud trucks outside. I live in the Midwest. All right. And then the rest of the cards get shuffled in. So we have Challenge Accepted, I Will Destroy You, and I Will Destroy You. These are the cards that will get shuffled into the encounter deck over here. So let me grab the deck up and shuffle all 3 of those cards in. So yeah, I wasn't expecting to have to deal with another big minion this early in the game. He's got Guard and Retaliate, so the first attack is... I don't have anybody that can do 5 damage, I don't think. I'll have to look at the cards in my hand again just to make sure, but I think that Yotat is probably going to be doing some retaliating. All right, let me see again what I got in my hand. So that's the end of Mr. Sinister's turn. I've got Intimidation, which is to remove X threat from a scheme where X is equal to your attack, First Aid, Healing Factor, and Meditation. So these will probably be the 2 cards I end up playing, First Aid and Intimidation this turn. We do need to get rid of Yotat the Destroyer. He's a guard. We can't do any damage to Mr. Sinister while he's out there. So we can do 4 damage with Drax into Yotat the Destroyer. So that's going to hit him pretty good. I think Mantis, rather than healing up, she's just going to remove 2 threat off of Cull the Weak. So we get rid of that side scheme there. We don't need Mr. Sinister attacking with +2. Hope Summers is going to attack Yotat the Destroyer to knock him out. So he goes away pretty quick. Not too bad. He is a brute. That would have been bad if we would have got some Mr. Hyde side schemes out on the table. And then, so with intimidation, it says remove threat from your scheme where X is equal to your attack. So we'll use meditation to pay for that. So we'll remove 4 threat because our attack is 4 from the main scheme. So we're just cleaning up the board here on this turn. This is kind of like a housekeeping turn. I did take 1 damage from that retaliation. I forgot to write that, to mark that down. That we took 1 damage from retaliation from Yotat. And then the next card we're going to play is First Aid. We're going to heal 2 damage from an ally. Or from any character. I could either do that from Mantis, which I think I will. Heal 2 damage from a character. Yeah, we'll keep Mantis in the game. Let's just remove the damage off of Mantis. Clean her up. Because I don't think he's going to hit me for 9 unless he double attacks me on my turn, which is possible. Those cards are in there. See what happens. Okay, so my hand size again is going to be 4. So I've got Headpool. I've got Bob, Agent of Hydra. I draw Stick-to-itiveness, and I also draw Payback. After the villain attacks you, deal X damage to the villain where X is equal to your attack. That's the Payback. And we may use that because he's going to attack us. We need to first put threat onto bulking up. Okay, so Mr. Sinister is going to attack Drax. He's going to hit him for 1, 2, plus this here. Another 2 is 4. So he lays 4 damage into Drax. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now it says after the villain attacks you, deal X damage to the villain where X is equal to your attack. Okay, so we're going to attack him for, and we get to draw a card because after the villain attacks Drax, we don't place any vengeance counters this time. We're just going to draw a card, and that is Too Stubborn to Die. All right, so we're going to do 4 damage into Mr. Sinister, which will take him down to 2. And his encounter card now, I'm down to 5. That's not good. Encounter card is Gang Up, and there it is. I called it. The villain and each minion engage with you attacks you. So is he going to attack me for 5? It is possible. He could attack me for 5. But I also have this Get Good, which says when a player would be defeated, they set their hit point dial to 1, change their alter form instead, and remove this card from the game. So anything short of 4, of 5, anything short of 5. So if I draw a 2, let's see what happens. I'm not going to defend. I may end up triggering the Get Good here early, but it reads, I will destroy you when revealed. Okay, no, this is no revealing. This is a boost card. So he's going to attack us for 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's going to take us down to 1. And we also have this response. After the villain attacks Drax, place 1 vengeance counter here or draw a card. I'm going to draw a card, and it's an energy. Yes, good. Okay, probably needed that. Yep, I think so. And we got a guy that can remove some threat. Okay, so Drax is down to 1 health.
I don't know that one.
Sorry, Alexa, I didn't mean to interrupt you there. All right, Too Stubborn to Die says when Drax would be defeated, instead set his hit point dial to 4, change into alter ego form, and remove this card from the game. So here's another opportunity to try to save him using Too Stubborn to Die. So this is a forced interrupt. This is a hero interrupt. So this is the one that would have to go off if I get defeated as Drax. Too Stubborn to Die. All right. We've got Bob, Agent of Hydra. It says, after Bob, Agent of Hydra enters play, deal 2 damage to an enemy or remove 1 threat from a scheme. And he's got one of these acceleration icons on him. And then we've got Stick-to-itiveness, which is also good. Spend a fist resource and exhaust this card. Ready your hero. So I've got some choices here. I could spend 2 to put Too Stubborn to Die out. So this is another opportunity to try to save ourselves. Is that energy card. Too Stubborn to Die. All right. Mantis. Is she going to heal Drax? Is she going to heal him? Bob Agent of Hydra says after Agent of Hydra enters play, deal 2 damage to an enemy or remove 1 threat from a scheme. Huh. So that's one way that Bob could knock out Mr. Sinister. It's by putting him into play. So what should I do first? I think with Mantis, remove threat from bulking up instead of healing. I got some things to recover me. Is the point here? So instead of Mantis, Mantis is going to remove the threat off of bulking up, and I think I need to do that. I think going into the next turn, I'm going to have to do that. So, all right. So Bob, Agent of Hydra, is going to come out into play. We're going to spend Stick-to-itiveness and Head Pool to play Bob, Agent of Hydra, onto the table, and then I'm just going to do the 2 damage to Mr. Sinister to knock out his stage 1 of Mr. Sinister. So that's going to flip him over to stage 2. Mr. Sinister says, when revealed, place 1 threat on the main scheme, 2 threat instead if Mr. Sinister has fewer than 2 superpower attachments. Yes. So 2 threat goes on to bulking up. So it was good that we knocked that threat off with Mantis. That was going to happen. Yeah. 2 threat onto the main scheme. We'll keep in mind, too, that he's got an acceleration icon, so there's going to be 3 threat placed there at the beginning of the next turn if I don't flip down, and he's going to come into play with 17 hit points. So 17 on to Mr. Sinister. Drax can attack Mr. Sinister for 4. I don't know if I was doing that earlier. 1, 2, 3, 4 damage. Now Hope can attack for 4 onto Mr. Sinister. 1, 2, 3, 4, down to 9. And then Bob, we're going to exhaust Bob. He doesn't have any consequential damage. He's going to remove a threat off of bulking up. And that will end my turn. Okay, so there's Bob, Agent of Hydra. We ready Hope Summers. We ready Mantis. And we ready Drax. Okay, so he's going to attack us. We could defend with Bob, Agent of Hydra. Maybe we do that. So let's draw our hand size first. It's parry. It says defense. When you would take any amount of damage, prevent X of that damage, where X is equal to double your attack. Oh, so yeah. All right, good. Got the parry card. I got limitless stamina. This is good. I got payback. After the villain attacks you, deal X damage to the villain, where X is equal to your attack. And one more card is Drax's knife. So looking pretty good. I don't want to mess myself up here, but we're looking pretty good. We're going to place 3 threat onto bulking up. All right. And then Mr. Sinister is going to attack Drax. Now let's see what my defense cards are here. We've got parry. After a villain attacks you, deal X damage to the villain, where X is equal to your attack. And defense, when you would take any amount of damage, prevent X of that damage, where X is double your attack. So my attack right now is 8, or is 4. Double that would be 8. So let's go ahead and defend and attack. Yeah, and I got limitless stamina as well. I like it. So he's going after Drax. He's going to attack him for 2, 3, plus the Hyde formula, 4 damage into Drax. We're going to play parry. When you take any amount of damage, prevent X of that damage, where X is double your attack. So he's not going to take any damage. We do draw a card after the villain attacks Drax. So we draw one for Drax's other knife. Payback says after the villain attacks you, deal X damage to the villain, where X is equal to your attack. So we're going to do 4 damage to Mr. Sinister. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the encounter card is an assault. So he's going to get me again. All right, so this is the time where I think Bob needs to jump into action. Now, I don't have anything. He says he's a brute and he's steady. So yeah, Bob's going to hop out in front of this one. And Mr. Sinister is going to attack Bob with, "You are confused." So I add a confused token to Drax. What do you know? And Bob is going to get hit for 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, Bob. What about it? All right, and that's going to end Mr. Sinister's turn. Drax's turn. Drax can attack with, well, we can do so much. So much could happen. If we put Drax's knife out, which we are, we're going to spend, what am I doing with the assault card in my hand? We're going to, let's see, I got payback in my hand too. Why do I have that? I'm getting all mixed up over here. So payback, we used that earlier. Yeah, so I need to discard my cards. So I'm going to put down Drax's knife. Drax is going to be +1 attack. We're going to use limitless stamina, which means Hope Summers is now a 5 attack. So with her 5 attack, she's going to hit Mr. Sinister and knock him all the way down to 0. So we were able to keep bulking up from flipping over to the next main scheme, which is a big deal with Mr. Sinister, because then he would get an additional either flight or telepathy. Whichever that other card would have been, he would have been either flight or telepathy, meaning that he would get retaliate, or that he would, let's see, this one says he gets the aerial trait and his attacks gain overkill. So, yeah, that was a fun game. We defeated Mr. Sinister, finally. All right, yeah, he's got us the last few times. And pretty good setup. I like playing Deadpool, the pool aspect with Drax, it seemed like that worked out pretty well. So thanks for watching my playthrough today. I am the Board Game Lawyer. You can catch me on YouTube. You can catch me on Twitch. You can catch me on Facebook. Or you could also find me over on Discord, BGL, or Board Game Lawyer. Thanks for watching my show. If you enjoy my content, you could subscribe to see future playthrough videos that I do. Unboxings, I also do those as well, and occasionally I'll throw a small tier list out there of things that I enjoy in the game. Also, if you enjoyed this video, why not give it a like? Thanks for watching today. Have a good evening, and we'll bring you another video again very soon.